Common Sense is a deep analysis to global and socioeconomical issues from the point of view of real people in real time. From the Sunshine State, this is Common Sense with Lex Marshall and JT.
Welcome to one more episode of Common Sense. My name is Lex Marshall, and we have Mr. Cooper on my right, on my left. Is that left?
Yeah, left side.
For you?
Left for you, right for me.
And JT in the other side. I don't know which one is that, but they here. Yeah.
Whatever.
Here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds more like it.
Season 2.
Season 2. We are on Season 2, guys. Just so you know. Just in case,
We're stepping it up. Doing it better.
You guys are...
We're already past the season 1? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, Season 2 started after the
pandemic.
Yeah.
Crap.
Took a break.
Hey, I got an important question again. I just don't quite understand. Is Fanta German?
I think, wasn't it developed by Coca-Cola to sell to the Germans during World War II? I think that's what it was. Because they wanted to continue to sell to the Nazis, but they didn't want to ruin the image of Coca-Cola. So they came up with Fanta.
But was it like, the Fanta was like, because German, after the World War II, Germany was kind of like all destroyed. And they wanted to continue the economy, so the Coca-Cola wasn't available as an option. And they had to come up with a soda.
Fanta's owned by Coke.
Right, but it was developed by German people because they couldn't use Coca-Cola. There was no resources or.
This says I'm on Wikipedia right now. Fanta originated as a Coca-Cola substitute in 1940 due to the American trade embargo of Nazi Germany, which affected the availability of Coca-Cola ingredients. Let's see.
Because they didn't have any ingredients in there.
Manufacturer of the Coca-Cola Company. Country of origin, Germany and Italy.
Yeah,
Italy makes the orange version. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah. Sounds right.
So they were producing it in Germany, I suppose?
The unofficial information that I have is because the German people, they wanted to continue, move on from World War II, and they didn't have the resources to manufacture Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola being America, it was just not possible.
Well, it says it originated in 1940.
Right.
So that was before the end of the war, right?
And they had to grab whatever they had in hand, so they have a bunch of oranges, and they start making sodas, orange soda.
Well, I guess orange is in Italy, though, so the other flavors are in Germany, but orange, for some reason, is from Italy.
The only orange? And what about the other flavors?
Other flavors in German.
But the only flavor that I know is orange since
They got a whole bunch of flavors. They got grape. Those are the only ones I know. But I know there's a bunch
I think the orange was the original flavor. No?
I don't know. They could still import from Italy, I suppose. Italy was on the side of the Axis, right?
So, yeah. They got access to the orange flavor.
Regarding the building that collapsed last week, was it this week? No, last week, right?
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah, that was one of the headliners.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah, well, our condolences goes towards those people, and they lost their loved ones. But yeah, it sucks. They have now. They say that they are finding out a bunch of complaints about the building, and they were saying about a lot of cracks, and
yeah, I saw a video of what it looked like.
Something with the pool, and it was just negligence, I guess, from somebody.
Well, it was a condo association, so they're all kind of part owners. So I would say they're all somewhat
the management.
complicit. Yeah.
See, this is the thing. When I used to work in a condominium complex myself, I was the maintenance in there. I worked on the maintenance crew. First of all, when we started there, we took the condominiums when they were new. and I didn't know too much about construction, but there's a lot of inspections. Everything has to be inspected, and like wiring, cabling, trussing, roof, walls, everything has to be inspected. But still, there's a lot of times where subcontractors get away with all kinds of stuff, man. Like
codes and
all
everything?
kinds of stuff.
They bribing, you think?
I don't know. It's just the way I see it is like the city comes in and they look for specific things. So the subcontractors, they know what they're gonna look at.
So they fix it right away.
They fix that is city is gonna say okay, and
Sort of like shoving your laundry in your closet.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that the government doesn't do because they're not required to do it. But like on when I was working there, the roof started leaking after 3 years.
Yeah.
All the roofs on the building started leaking. So we called the subcontractor that built the roof, and it was Bajaf. We found out that they didn't do enough coating with materials. The nails were going through the roof, and they were rusting, and all that water was leaking through the nail hole. And there was no one to hold accountable for that because they were gone. And some of the companies, they were not existing at the time anymore. So what they do is they go into the construction site, they file for new company like Mr. Cooper Roofing, and they go and they do a bunch of roofs, and after they're done with those roofs, they dissolve the company. So they not being held accountable if something later happens. So if something happens with those roofs that you built back in like 2 years ago and they start leaking, those people call you, but you're not existing anymore.
Right.
So there's no one to be held accountable because that's what they do. A lot of the companies, they go, it's like flash companies that they register to the State Department, and then they get dissolved and they move on to different names and so on and so forth. And so there's no one to be accountable for that. And that happens a lot on construction. So insurance can really do anything. And it's hard for the homeowner associations to look for companies for insurance, because the insurance asks, okay, you should go to the company that built this, and that company doesn't exist.
So the shady contracts.
All over the place. And I see that those guys were having a lot of issues with their building, but no one thought about, it's just going to collapse. Well, it's pretty bad, man.
Well, this building, it's been for 4 years. That's what they said, that they built in 1981. So...
Yeah, but like how long is the building, the Chrysler building on New York City?
But they're made of steel.
Right.
And these kind of condos, they don't have a steel.
It's
That's
like
what I don't
concrete,
see.
and
There's
in
concrete
Miami,
and
there's
wood.
sea air. Yeah, there's sea air and damp air.
There's a lot of sand
People
over there
talk
too.
about like the concrete with cracks, and there's like water running down and stuff, even though it's not raining.
Yeah.
Salty water and all the metal get corroded. But I don't see any metal structure inside, because they feel like like a pancake. That's
like a pancake.
Pancake, but it feels like I don't know. It's hard to describe. I don't know the term for the construction, but it's just like a pile of bricks.
Rubble.
No, just bricks like you demolish sand. There is no. Maybe one side of the building just collapsed and make it bulky, and the other side, but it just fell apart just like.
It looked sort of like a L shape, or like I guess like a right angle L shape. And yeah, just one of the legs just fell straight down. So the other half,
one fell over. Yeah.
The other half is still up, but half of it just went straight down. It was in the middle of the night while people were sleeping.
But if you see the wall of the steel stand, it doesn't. You don't see through metal. structure. It's just
Right.
It's,
You don't,
it's
there's
just
no
concrete.
beams
Yeah, there's no beams inside.
left
Just
over.
I think rebar and concrete, right? We should
Yeah.
rebar and concrete.
Yeah.
So what are they made of? It's just like these condos in the area, just made out of wood. That's scary. I see a lot of condos around.
And that's what I'm saying is just the I don't think the government codes. I don't even think about the government code. I think the way they do inspections, because they look for specific things and they say, oh, okay, as long as you have this, it's fine, and they don't care about the rest. As long as you have this, the right tie or the right screw, the right bolt, it's fine.
They're not thorough enough.
No, and never. And all the wiring, I've seen a lot of how they build things, and this is the thing with the new generations. Like, people don't care.
What, are you gonna blame me for this? My generation built it in 1981.
But you know the
Yeah, man.
why the millennials kill everything.
No, because like the new generations are like they kind of careless. I mean, there is no. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe how the new generation's
I'm
mentality.
gonna look up. Can we look up that inspector and see how old he is? I doubt he's a millennial.
No, but I don't think nothing to do with the generation.
No, but sometimes it's not the builder. Sometimes it's how they maintenance. And who's doing the maintenance? Millennials.
No, I don't think so.
this?
No?
No, I don't
You
think
know
so.
this.
No, I don't think. I don't. It doesn't have to do with the
Oh,
generation.
what was it? The previous generation?
Yeah, of course.
Gen
Was
X,
it
yours.
40 years ago?
Yeah, and it's eventually is getting worse.
Okay, whatever. It's not a very good example, but I'll
I don't blame-
entertain the.
I don't blame millennials for building that was.
No, I'm saying for
built in
building. It's
40
just
years ago.
it's just how the mentality is just degrading. Like from those people from what was it baby boomers, it's a one way to think. It's different thinking, and then after that generation, it's just the mentality is just getting just worse and
So
worse.
you think you're worse than baby
No,
boomers?
I don't think so.
Probably
Why?
because I grew up with more technology, and different. The war was over, so it's a different view. Like right now, before we start, people that are growing up with iPads, they're not thinking what we were thinking at that age when we were that age.
Whoa! No, this is way too far. I don't think so. That's the case, because and 4 years ago, the way that my parents raised me, the things that were made, let's say by baby boomers, they were made to last, because they didn't have the technology at the time, so there was it was a consumer issue. But they built like this, like let's say they're gonna build this computer and they're gonna to last 10 years. They build cars to last 40 years. Let's say that. So this new generation, the consumer, they're asking for more. So they don't make things to last because for the next year, people want to try something new.
Yeah, but those cars back then didn't have airbags.
That's right.
And
That's
the
what
structural integrity.
That's what I'm
was
saying.
Nothing.
Because there was no the
If you get
innovation.
in an accident, it just folds in on itself.
That's what I'm saying. So they make to last, but they don't have the safety. They don't have the safety that we have now, that we discover over the time. So now I think this new generation, they want something new every time because there is the way we can build it.
Yeah, but it's also a lot cheaper compared to
Right.
back then.
But look, what I'm trying to say is like I said, I work in the maintenance spectrum field, whatever, and I was the youngest one at the time, and I worked with a bunch of old people. And my manager, he was an old guy. I think he was like 50 at the time, and I was 25, I think.
Boomer.
So the way he was thinking is like, no, you have to do it right. And the way I was thinking is like, this is not my house. Fuck it. I'm not the one that is going to deal with it later on. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality that I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
it's not my house. I don't have to deal with this. Somebody else in the future has to deal with this, what I'm doing right now. That is the mentality that is just eventually degrading over time. You build something, you know you're not going to deal with it. Have somebody else worry about it, because you're not going to be there.
And part of it, but not on everything. Let's say the people that will start hoarding money just back in the 40s and back in the 50s, that's where they hold the world. So that leads me to think that if people, they want to, in some part, build things to last, but in other ways, okay, I want to pay this guy a low wage so I can build 10 houses. If I pay the minimum, I can build 100 houses. So that's the way they make the world, right? So what about if they started to thinking, okay, I don't want to hoard money. I just want to, give it the people fair share, and I want to build something to last. And I would force them to make it to the code. But they started doing shady things. So they hire a contractor, and they just comply with the code, with the city code. And they, I'm going to put only one coat of paint and save the money. And I want to hoard money because my grandchildren or whatever, I want to build wealth. That's what I think in some cases happen. So I don't blame the millennials for that, or I don't blame the next generations to doing that, because most of the millennials are suffering because many people
suffering.
Back in the time, it's kind of, because now they experience the low wages, the minimum wage that all the baby boomers set back in the time in order to hoard money and don't give us people share. That's what all these senators, they older and they hold to the job, and they don't want to change. They don't want to change the mindset to give it to the new generation a voice to speak in order to change things about labor and about...
Yeah, but when you're talking about politics, that's a different issue. People like to hold into power, and that's the human nature of that.
Yeah, but they baby boomers, right?
Yeah. People in politics in general are baby boomers. All the Congress and presidents and they're all pretty much baby boomers.
What I think is happening, we have an identity crisis between all these generations. I don't even know which one is which. I don't even know who I belong to towards generation
You're
Gen
Gen
X.
It's
just I'm thinking that different generations have different mentalities, and previous generations have better mentality than our, the newer generation. It's just degrading. People don't care, man. New generations don't care. Like restaurants, they don't care, man. They serve you what the cook is gonna put in the window. That food is not for them. They don't care about it. That's what they gave me. That's what I'm gonna take it to the customer. That's
what? What do you mean?
They don't care if the food looks good. New generations, the new guys, they don't care.
They don't have the passion to do it.
No.
Also just new. They don't know what they're doing.
Nah.
What?
Nah, because I remember back in the day, you have to make the things right. Now, nobody's enforcing to make the things right. I mean, it looks good, it's fine.
So who do you think is responsible for this kind of behavior on the new generations?
Parenting.
So you guys.
Yeah. Look, you know why? Because you try to give your kids what you didn't have. So you are making your kids...
so you're spoiling them.
Spoil. So by spoiling your kid because you want to give them what you didn't have when you were a kid, then therefore you're spoiling your kids and building a different mentality that you have. Your mentality is, okay, I'm going to work for this. I'm going to work and save and eventually I'm going to get it. New generations they don't have that. They just, why my parents didn't give it to me? It's my parents' fault because they want everything given to them.
I don't think it's the case, but I think the part that you're saying it's
Cooper.
It's fine.
He wants everything given to him.
What?
No, I don't think so.
Where are you getting that from?
Let's put it this way. Okay, the generation that was working for us in the late 70s and 80s, that was the people that were forced to work, right? So both parents has to work. This is my theory, and that I've been reading a little bit about it, and that was my case, and that would apply to me. And late in 70s and 80s, let's say to 75 to 85, the people that has it was changing. It was changing. The era was changing. The years has been changing with the new technology. There was no money around. You have to work double shifts. Your parents has to work. So what do? You go to school alone, right? So most of the kids, they were in school alone, so they had to come back alone to the house. You had the key for the house, and most of the time you spend it alone in your home. So I think the millennials are independent. They look for things. They're achieving things. They want to do and try to do new things. But at the same time, they were rebellious because they have the kind of independence for their kids. I mean, I was that kind of the kid that I traveled like 1 hour to go to get to school, and I come back to my house, late at night. And my parents, it's not like they didn't care. They care about me, but they were working. They were building something for me.
I don't want to speak for my whole generation, but I think the internet had a huge impact on how we see things, because suddenly we had access to all of this information, and we also had a forum in which we could have private conversations that weren't being, watched over by our parents. And so it gave us a lot of room for individualism in how we think, and it led to a lot of questioning as to what the previous generation did. We questioned religion, we questioned the government.
Come on, but all right. But my generation, they were the kids that we were in the streets alone. I mean, we spent time in the arcade. We spent time in the in the fields.
Yeah.
With a lot of friends. We didn't have internet at the time. We didn't have cell phones at the time. We didn't have access to the information. If you want to know something, you go to a library and you had to borrow somebody else's books. So we're independent. I'm an independent guy. I'm at the age of 15, 19 years old, I can look for a job and somebody, trusted me with a task. So I don't think nothing to do with the internet. I think it's more like the parents now, the millennials grow up and they have children, and they give you this kind of feeling to the kids. Oh, you're the best. Oh, buddy, you can achieve things. You can do anything.
But they don't tell thing about you guys.
So they for me, I think they create a low self-esteem to guys. So instant reward.
But baby boomers said the same thing to the newer generation, and then the newer generation said the same
why?
thing.
Yeah.
If they live with the parents.
Well, it's just we get better stuff, and it's cheaper, so we're capable of giving them
like you grew up with internet, right?
I grew up with internet, but not smartphones.
But you grew up with internet,
Windows
like
95 dial-up.
How old were you when the internet was just good? It was available, say, like 10.
Like high speed or dial-up?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You got
Internet.
Let's say Windows 98. I could say Windows 95, but I would say Windows 98 was like
okay,
a pretty decent. There's
affordable
out there.
I mean, even if it was dial-up, it was
Like
already
most people have
affordable.
it.
Yeah.
I would say maybe Windows 98, so that would be
98.
I was born in 88, so 10.
10 years, so you were 10. So by the end of 10, you don't really know what's going on in the world. But what you know is what you are, what you can put your hands on. That's what you know.
I mean, there wasn't Google, there wasn't Wikipedia, or if there was Google, there's
there were
Yahoo,
websites. Yeah, there was American Online.
Yeah, but there wasn't like an easy way to get answers like Wikipedia or anything.
But it was available. It was something that was there already for at your disposal.
Yeah, but I don't think I really used it for.
But it doesn't matter. Like if you use it or not.
Yes. Okay. What's your fucking point?
But it was there.
Yes,
Damn it.
It was there.
I grew up with bicycles.
So did I.
And
it's not that I stayed inside the entire time. I went out and I did things.
You know, my dad was, you know, riding donkeys. You know, there wasn't a bicycle available. When I grew up, was bicycles available. You know, in my previous generation, it was probably riding a dinosaur. I don't know who cares. It doesn't matter where, you know. It's
Well, it
the
does.
same
I mean,
thing.
my father had sports cars when he was a teenager, so it's a little bit of a difference.
But what I'm saying is the previous generations spoils the next one.
I mean, that's when my father was extremely spoiled by his father.
See, and then you came out more spoiled than them, and then your son is gonna
I'm more
be
spoiled. Not
and
necessarily.
your son is gonna be more spoiled than you.
I had a Toyota Corolla, okay? That was a hand-me-down from my grandma. He had like 3 different sports cars and raced sports cars with his father.
But when your father was at your age, when you had a Toyota Corolla, he didn't have a sport car.
Yeah, in high school. He had multiple sports cars.
So he got spoiled.
Yeah, more than me, for sure.
But maybe you were like this exception. Like
Yeah, I'm not.
usually
yeah.
people don't do that.
I'm in
Usually
a different.
it's a high
Yeah, and I was
schooler.
also raised by baby boomers, and I was
Usually high schooler
Gen
doesn't get spoiled like your dad.
Z.
But what I'm saying is the previous generation gets worse and worse and worse, and now nobody cares.
I don't think it gets worse. It gets different the way the point of view,
Yeah.
because now you have to deal with this low self-esteem of people, a younger generation, because they self-interest. You know what I'm saying? They care about themselves because maybe the society, maybe the parents,
But
I don't know, maybe the school, they
isn't that
teach them to do
a
that.
different type of mentality?
They instant to the reward. If they get just used to that. If they do something, they want a reward. That's why they buy shit on the internet. That's why they want to feel better, you know, about the likes they receive on Instagram, or they want to show it up to the people what they don't have, but they want to be liked. That's what the social media is doing with them.
You usually get rewarded.
Say that again.
You usually get rewarded by your parents. Did you? Like say like you got a A in mathematics or.
I mean, I was a pretty bad student, so my sister is
So
also a
what-
millennial. She was.
What did you ever did
straight
right?
A. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No, but you feel the way that you can reward yourself.
I got on this podcast. That's the only first real thing I've done.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, great accomplishment.
No, but seriously, people want to see something and they want to reward themselves. Oh, I want to eat healthy, so in order to get themselves better.
Is
Not
that
for the
more-
other people. It's not that they don't care. They care about, but they care about themselves.
So they're selfish. We're more
Yeah,
selfish
pretty
than other
much.
generations.
Pretty much.
Newer generations get selfish than the previous.
That's
And
right.
That's it.
But-
They're gone.
Yeah, but they get sad.
So
And they get
doesn't-
depressed.
Doesn't this have more to do with technology and how technology is getting better?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think it is. I think that's the factor. Is technology's changing
But
more than how we're
okay.
being raised.
But
I
see,
think
this
it's
is
that-
what I've seen. This is like just having a talk with this building that collapsed. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, previous generation is like, well, I'm not gonna live there. What would I do it right? You know.
I don't think that will happen, but it's a good point. But I don't think that will happen in that case.
Because I've seen things like, you know, I'm gonna do this way. I'm not gonna insulate it because it's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Okay, but
I'm
what-
sure you could go back and find examples of buildings falling over and negligence from.
But
back
let's
then.
say it's about the airplanes that they fall out during the time, and they have to recall, and they have to build and everything else, and they have to check it out because they don't know what happened. So I don't think is putting the blame on people that because they didn't care. I think they do care, but things happen. You know, shit happens like everything else. So I don't think that's the mentality in this case.
I think it has to do with a lot of mentality. How new generations are just.
You're just so much better than me. You're so much better than me, and even more better than the next generation, right?
Yeah, man.
What I think is good, the millennials are changing the way we consume things. and the way they
Well,
see the things in the market.
that's got to do with technology, just like Cooper was saying. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, a lot of the things that we have are at our disposal is because technology.
I'm part of it.
You know, like we have Amazon. You don't have to drive Walmart if you need shampoo, and you don't need it right now.
Have someone deliver it to you.
Yeah, have somebody deliver it. It's great, man.
free.
You don't have to do smart.
Yeah, it's about the.
They're close to
I don't think it's about the technology. It's about you being lazy. That you don't want to. You don't get up
Everything.
and you-
I also just hate those stores.
Yeah.
See, that's
You know
my
how much
point.
Time and gas.
See, that's my point. They self-interested. They don't want to, socialize with people. They just want to. Oh no, I want to be in my home,
You don't wanna
watching
see-
Netflix, and I don't want to see
You
their
don't
ass
want to
and
see
other
people from Walmart.
That
No.
and everything else. That's my point on this generation. They're self-interested.
If I
They're
want
interested
to
in
see
them.
someone, if I wanted to go see someone, then I'll go to a bar where you can actually interact with. If you go to Walmart or Target and you just walk up to someone and start talking to them, then you're an asshole. No one likes you for doing that.
See, that's what
There's like I'm trying to get things done. Get away from me. I
That's
don't
the
know
things
you.
they do. That's what the things. I mean, I don't blame it. It's fine, but that's the problem. And that applies to a lot of things.
You guys go to
Around
Walmart
the
and
world.
strike up conversations with random people?
No, I hate going there too.
Exactly.
You see. But back in the time, you can go to the.
I go there because I have
You can
to.
go to the store and somebody, maybe your neighbor, maybe somebody gonna start a conversation with you. Now has the change
You think?
because
Yeah.
the generation they feel oppressed. They feel like, oh, this guy is looking at me, the way I dress, the way I
You think like
drive.
Walmart is going out of business soon?
Yeah,
No.
probably. Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah. That's bad news that I have.
You think
for
because
you
of
today.
Amazon?
No, because the way they market things,
The business model.
the business model, it's old, it's outdated.
Because like, eventually there is going to be more people like you that you don't want to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like you being multiplied by thousands.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can really not get offline yet is food. So if I want food, I go to Publix. I mean, I'll go to Walmart. It depends on where I'm at. Publix is right across the street, so that's where I'm going. If I was right next to Walmart, I'd probably go to Walmart, but I'm right next to Publix.
But how often do you go?
Whenever you feel hungry.
Once a
Then
week, maybe.
You go there and get groceries and chill for like a week.
Yeah.
So you try to do that as less as possible. Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I feel like going somewhere. I mean, I might go to Chipotle. I go out if I feel like going out.
So what do you look for? I'm asking you this, Cooper, because you're younger than us. So what do you look for in a service when you go to the restaurant? Let's say.
Just quality of food, I would say, but also environment.
But you don't like to interact with other people, right? You don't go to the store to interact with other people.
Socialize.
I think
socialize.
it's a pretty. I don't think it's just me. I think pretty much everyone's in agreement that we don't know each other. We don't want to get to know each other.
So the more you stay away from other people's problems is the best for you. Is the better, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I don't want to get involved with. I mean, usually if you're friends with something,
No,
it's
I agree.
because of,
I share that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in. Look, for me, one way of thinking is about your neighbors or your even your family. The less you know is the best. Is the better because then you don't have to step in and I'm gonna help you. I don't need that.
I don't know
you
I don't know how they think. And what do I have to gain from talking to them?
Nothing.
Really.
It's
There's
just-
no information. Like a lot of people used to gossip. If I want information, then I go online and I read it. Like,
All right.
what information are they
But
going to provide me?
But you agree that 20 years back, the business model that was created based on socialize with people?
That's gone. That's gonna be gone soon.
That's all right. That's my point.
I mean, bars.
Yeah, but people go to the bar for different things.
yeah,
Mingle or
Socialize.
with sports. You know, that is a different market for. Like a bar is a different market than Walmart.
I'd say that's pretty much the only place that you can go to socialize with people and they don't think you're weird. right?
No, they still think
I mean,
you're
you could,
weird.
But
you
even-
could
even-
say a coffee shop, but like
No, but
not really.
even on bars, like if you go straight to socialize, you're pretty weird, man.
I mean, if you're with a friend, if
That's
you're,
different.
If you're there by yourself,
Yeah.
but if you're with your friend, and there's someone else there with
If
your
you go
friends.
there,
and
if you go there by yourself and you try to socialize with somebody,
Yeah,
you
it's
see
weird.
like a girl sitting by herself at the bar, and then you go and approach her.
Yeah. You gotta have a friend to show that
she'll
you're
say
capable
like,
of-
"The fuck is this guy doing?" You know,
Yeah.
or
So what do you
I'm
do when
getting
you
this,
fly?
you know.
What do you do when you fly?
He's
When
just
you have to
talking.
share, you have to share the seat with somebody else in an airplane. What do? You just tell him, "Hey, shut up! Don't talk to me."
Depends. If it's an attractive woman, I might.
Like, hope this lady doesn't talk to me, right? You hope.
No. Initially, when I sit down, I'll acknowledge them, maybe like strike up a small conversation, and then after that, we just do our own thing. I just want to communicate like I'm not a psycho. I'm a normal person. We're going to be sitting very close to each other. It's fine. I'm going to respect your space.
What is the difference when you go to some bar and you do the same thing? What is the difference? Because you're traveling to
The environment is different.
So, like,
the
why
same
are you
psychos.
I mean-
The only thing the difference is the alcohol, but it's the same thing.
Pretty big difference. But
Yeah, the environment, the purpose of going to the bar.
plus, at the bar, you know that more than likely you're in the same area. Where in a plane,
You
you
can
don't
get
know. They
stabbed
could
in
be
the back of the alley.
flying. You may never see each other again.
I think like if you go on a plane, it's not by choice. It's you don't have like complete
You can't leave if you find them annoying.
right.
You're, like, stuck with them.
Yeah, you don't
Trying to keep
own
the
the
peace.
situation. It's totally.
In a bar, you can be like, "Okay, nice meeting you. See you."
Yeah.
It is funny. We cannot escape ourselves, but it's fine.
Yeah, like you go to the bar and you don't like the lady that is sitting next to you, you just move, somewhere else, and
Yeah.
you don't do that on a plane.
Yeah.
You're stuck in there. You don't own that situation. It's totally out of your hands.
I mean, who knows? I mean, if you like the person, you can continue the conversation. But if you're just sort of like, "Okay, cool," and then that's it.
No, I get it. I'm the same way. I'm in some sort of introvert when it comes to things like that.
Did you
I
know
don't-
that more people are meeting their person to date through dating apps than any other way?
Yeah, that's
Combined.
news to me because I didn't think. First of all, I was thinking about those dating apps. They were like just fake, poor profile, and people were just using those apps just to get laid. But now it's the real. I mean, a lot of people are putting really through information about themselves.
Yeah, my sister and husband met through Match, I think.
I think it's the way you narrow your preference, and the people they tend to believe what you putting in. So they look alike, in the app. And there's people is just like me. Or that's what the people that I'm looking for, and you're gonna give it a shot. So I think it's more saving time because this generation does what they do. They want to do something with their time. They don't want to
You
people
can both
monopolize
be
their
very
time.
clear about mutual interest.
Yeah, but you
You
save
go to
your
the bar,
time.
then you're sort of like, I don't know, is this person, like there's some uncertainty? Or if you meet online and agree to a date, then you're both going into it like, okay, we're both interested.
If they're good, they go ahead. If it don't, let's go
Okay,
finish and
You can
So-
go
something
straight
else.
to flirting, straight to
So if
Right.
the store or buying shit on the store is changing because of technology or new generations or whatever the case may be, you think like restaurants are gonna change too?
Of course, they already
Right.
change it. They have to change.
And if they don't follow the change, they pretty much gonna perish.
They already done it. And so
What do you think is changing? What is changing?
the business model has changed. Let's say, for example, I
For
was
restaurant, people go there to eat. So what's that to do with the business model?
because this different interest. Because I this new generation that I learned from this generation and that I like is time. I like my time. So what I go to some franchise that is outdated it's been there for years or for a long time. And if I can choose going online and see that I can make that food in my home, I will do it. So what I spend time to go to some chain restaurant and I spend 20 minutes of my time with somebody that I don't like me and somebody that I don't like to see. And most of the chain restaurants are attended by kids now. If you go to McDonald's, I gave up McDonald's a long time ago because I used to go for my coffee and from some treats, not really the food. But I gave up because every time they gave me something wrong, the coffee was cold, the coffee was prepared in a different way. They didn't have the food that they didn't have the food that I like. So I gave up because all the time there was, 16, 17 years old kids, attending you in McDonald's. So who wants to do that? I don't want that. So I stopped to go to Applebee's. I just go because the reunions with my family, but not because I like it. The food was outdated. It's the same. Who wants to eat a shrimp? The size of the dime, the mashed potato that came in the box.
I know, but we have different.
Who wants to do that?
We have different ways to approach this because I don't go to a restaurant I go to a restaurant because I know their food and it's good. It doesn't matter if I want to cook it at home or not. I go just for the food and service. And we've been doing that since we know restaurants. You don't want to go there and try to cook the food that they serve there because you're not gonna get it.
Right, but it's not what
the food. If the food is unique, you go there because the food.
They've got ingredients
service.
other than
okay. How many
Publix
restaurants
sells.
you got in your portfolio that you go once a week or once a month or twice a year?
Look, I usually go to a Salvadorian place because they sell something that I will never.
No. But I'm saying I'm saying
I will never make a
How
home
often?
I'm saying that how
Every day, man.
The regular people like you go.
every week.
No specific, no target a specific audience. I'm telling you, in the popular, how many people that that in this generation go to and make profit out of it, buying things from that restaurant in a specific.
Making profit.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Well, okay, if I want to be patron from some restaurant, that's because I care. So I go often because I like the food and they make profit out of me. So in
order to support them.
right.
Well, we're talking about chain restaurants. I think that's something I don't have any interest in doing that. I don't feel the need to support a corporate entity but a local restaurant where there's a one-off.
I don't.
I could see that.
I don't really like chain restaurants because the way they do things is I work on a chain restaurant. I used to work back in the day. I used to work at Applebee's, and the way they do things is again, people don't care too much. They don't really. People that work in Applebee's, Chili's, any other chain restaurant, they're not there because they want to have a cooking career or management career. They're there because they need the money right at the moment. That's why they go there. And you find all sort of people. You find drug addicts, drunk people that like to drink, and ex-con. You find all sorts of people in there. But they just there temporarily. They just want to make money, and they are there just to do what they've been told to do.
All right, but let's say the people they work for them, they don't make the money. So the corporate they can't make the money. The owner of the chain of the franchise in that place, they make the money out of those guys that work for them.
That's
You
pretty
know,
much
with
everywhere.
with minimum
But-
and low
but
wages.
but I'm looking at from the inside, and
What it's like to work there.
what it's like to work there, and that's what I don't go there. I mean, I go there every once in a while, probably like 2 times a year. I don't go there, on a regular basis, because I know those companies from the inside. Now, I don't understand why people keep going to change restaurant. It's awful. I mean, the food is awful, and
Yeah.
service is awful.
Environment is awful.
Environment is awful. You see, and walk into it's not like I'm going to degrade those names that I just mentioned, but most of the time, the restaurant is dirty. what is the
often,
purpose?
yeah.
Yeah, what is the
All right,
purpose
but
to be
I don't,
there?
I don't blame the chain. I blame the management, because if
Because
you got a
that is-
budget,
yeah,
if
the
you got
management-
if you got a budget on that chain, you have to get a budget so you can survive, you and the people that are you hiding. So mostly these chain restaurants are paying low wages.
Yeah, people
So you don't have the
Well, it's-
budget to buy
most of the time
to,
servers are
to hire good people,
$5 or whatever, so
quality
it's not-
people, because
Yeah, people
nobody
that
wants to
don't
work
care.
for $10 an
pretty
hour.
much. Well, okay. I think it has a lot to do with the client. Okay. People don't respect the restaurant. So I think the employees don't respect the restaurant because they're like, the guests don't respect us. We're not going to respect them. It's just like a lack of respect. They're just, I don't know. Where if you go into a local place and the employees are taking care of the place and there's ownership over
Yeah.
it, then they respect the employees.
In
and
order
it's
to
just-
take care of your customer, what do you need to have?
But it's different. When you own the restaurant, it's different when you manage the restaurant.
I know. What I'm saying to the point of Jay Cooper is, if the customer don't care about the people that work there, and the people that work there don't care about the customers, so it doesn't matter what the management is doing. What I'm thinking is, in order to work that restaurant and care for your customers, what do you need to get from your management and from the ownership to get to their customers and your customer?
I don't know. Tell me.
I guess everything has to do with wages. Because
Right.
if the manager is like a domino effect, like if the manager doesn't make enough money, then he doesn't pay enough money to the employee. So it's lack of care. And it starts from the management, because management in our chain restaurant, the management is not an owner. He will never take an ownership of the place because he's just there for
Just managing,
just to manage.
Yeah.
So that being said, he's there. He's not gonna pay his employees. So the quality of people that he's gonna get is not the quality of people that actually care. They just get there to make some bucks and then move on. And from the management to the cooks and sous chef or dishwasher, is everything in the same pot. Now, when you own the restaurant, because it's your business, and then you want to get quality people, so they provide better service to the patrons,
Right.
and you start looking from management to cooks, sous chef that they've been taken care of. And that's why I don't like to go to chain restaurant, because you go there. I mean, you know what to expect on a chain restaurant. If I go to Applebee's, I know what to expect. It's up to me if I want to go or not. And if I decided to go, I know that I want to walk in a place where it's going to be the way it's going to be. If I walk into this Salvadorian place that I'm going, I know the owner. The owner knows me. I'm a regular customer there, and he'll take care of me, and I know he will.
You have a relationship with
We
the
have a
place.
relationship with the owner, with the cooks, with the host, and I walk in there and they know me by name, and they welcome me, and I like that.
That's not going to happen in a chain restaurant.
I know what I'm gonna get, guarantee. Like if I order, quesadilla, I know how it's gonna be, and I know it's gonna be done right. And if I walk into a chain restaurant, it's gonna be different every time. But it's not because of the management. It's because they can hold on to people that provides the service that this place needs, and it's because they don't want to do it. They don't want to pay these people to care.
Yeah, because the chain restaurant, it was in order to make profit for the owner, right? So the services.
I mean,
It's not
profit
there.
is for the owner or
For whatever owns the franchise.
They
right?
probably also expect that they're going to be able to bring in people through the marketing alone. That they don't have to bring them in through quality and word of mouth. That people see commercials, so they're going to come.
Yeah.
So back into the Walmart thing. That's what I think is going to disappear, and not just because I'm saying it, because I've read in it, and there's a lot of articles. So, for example, if you go to Walmart, there is no enough cashiers. If you are on the move, if you're a millennial or Gen Z, you don't have time to spend in a store. So you want to buy milk, just go straight to the, dairy area. You grab your milk, and you don't need to wait for people, to cash you out. Just go to the machine. So that's the same thing you can do in your home through your app. It's the same thing, and they're going to deliver it to your house. So the thing is first is the service. The second one is the healthy food. They don't offer healthy. You don't expect healthy food from a cheapest point of view. I mean, chain restaurants are famous for cheap food. I mean, if you buy $5 pizza, how much quality do you expect in $5 pizza? Right? So it's not healthy. Do you know that it's not really healthy, right? How much do you expect from $7 burger in a chain restaurant? So the food is not healthy. So for the new generation, it's not attractive, right?
There's options. There's too many options.
The new generation don't want to go to shopping. What I go to the chain franchise. It's nothing to. It's nothing to.
Let's say Amazon starts delivering groceries. Same deal, free delivery. You're gonna go to the grocery store anymore?
Don't they do that already?
Yeah, they do.
Certain areas,
like fresh market.
Okay, but it just started, but they're happening. So how long does
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. So how long does it take to Amazon delivery to your door gasoline, or I don't know, battery pack for your car?
That's interesting.
So how long does it take? I don't think it's going to take 10 years.
I think you can order a battery now. Probably. I ordered a battery for the motorcycle on Amazon.
Oh, good point. Good point on that. I was watching something about the Harley Davidson, how the Harley Davidson is going, to the pitfall too, because that was the baby boomers.
They're the ones that bought it.
Yeah. So what is more attractive, a Harley Davidson or Tesla car right
Tesla.
now? See
Definitely.
what I'm
But
saying?
they do in an electric motorcycle.
All right, but and
they're
the
not
name,
out yet.
yeah, but it's not the
They're
same.
too expensive.
But don't they have like the flapper, right?
The what?
The flapper.
I don't know.
They built in a flapper in the electric motorcycle, so it sounds like a real engine, like.
Oh, yeah.
So people.
Otherwise, they're completely
All right.
silent.
Yeah,
and
so
people wouldn't notice it.
Yeah, so that's the other point. So eventually, that name, that brand is gonna disappear, or one of two, or change.
I think Harley Davidson will always be around. They may be smaller.
Yeah, but it has to change in
good of
order
a
to attract
brand.
more people.
You think those companies, Walmart, Target, or whatever, they gonna do, or they gonna
Amazon's going to win out. Over
right? No,
everything.
but
They're gonna be more than Amazon,
same thing happened to the film camera. Remember?
right?
That Kodak
Right. It's
kind of refused to do
Change.
the change to digital and was sticking with film, and all of a sudden it was too late. Those people have like gray advantage over them on digital cameras.
Yeah, they're still there, but now they're doing like niche products, like instant cameras and stuff like that.
but it's like a vintage.
Yeah, it's a
but
small company. It's not a
Right.
major.
No one cares really. I thought like Kodak would have
professional
been
cameras.
wouldn't been on the top cameras, digital cameras like Nikon, Canon, like because they were like pioneers on the camera market.
Got left behind.
You would think that they were on right now. They were on the top of the line, but now
Like
they
Blockbuster,
they
Video.
fall asleep on the laurels.
right? Blockbuster.
So another thing that I
Blockbuster and
see for the streaming services.
and
change.
gaming.
So yeah, it's all about online. Anything you can get
And
online.
so is Walmart, Target, Publix, they need to move on to the online platform?
I think there are
I think-
services where they'll grocery shop for you.
I
There's
think-
service
I
like
think-
Uber Eats or something similar where you can send them into the grocery store with a list and they'll get everything and bring it to you. It's expensive.
But it costs money.
It's expensive.
And nobody wants to do that.
But if
yet.
Amazon does it through Whole Foods and it's affordable,
It needs to be free.
well, I mean through Prime.
It needs to be free that way. Because back in the day, I remember like back in 2005 or something like that, you only have on the cell phone 100 minutes and it was super expensive.
Yeah.
I remember those 100 minutes, and then they start. Oh, they get 200 minutes for the same price, and then 300 minutes, and then 1,000 minutes, and now, now
Unlimited.
it's unlimited. It has to be free.
Unlimited text. Remember when you had unlimited text?
The availability on items on the store. Because you never been in IKEA? You've been in IKEA before?
Yeah.
You've been in IKEA before?
I never step in that store.
All right, so
Never, ever.
so
It's
so
pretty cool.
that's good. That's
it.
my point, right?
Chinese.
So they give you the attraction.
No,
Swedish.
Chinese product.
No, it's not Chinese.
Designed by Sweden. I don't know where it's
No, it's not.
manufactured.
It's not from China. There some
Manufactured.
products are from China.
Products
They're all
are
over
from
the world.
China.
No, they're all over the world.
What?
The products are all over the world. That's a lie. It's not, all not
most
from
of it
China.
Chinese?
No. You got products from Germany. You got products from Mexico. You got products from Costa Rica, from Honduras. Yeah, that's my point. The millennials are attracted to IKEA because the business model, they show you the way they look and feel better in your home and not spending a lot of money. Because if you go to regular furniture store, you have to buy this bulky sofa and that doesn't match to your dining table, or you have to find the right match. If you go to IKEA, you got everything to match to your small home, to bigger home, to your apartment. And most of the millennials, they share, or they live with the parents, or they don't want to buy a home because it's too expensive right now to afford a home. So they live longer with the parents and they stay. So that's what Walmart doesn't have. That's what the Target doesn't have. They don't attract that kind of people.
Showrooms.
No. They don't attract the feeling that you feel better living in that home or going to that store and feel attracted to them to buy their stuff and match to your life.
Better aesthetics. And then if you go to Walmart for furniture, it's like a small aisle and there's very
And cheap, right?
very
Made in
few
China.
options.
Made in China.
But see,
I mean,
but that's
IKEA's
what.
pretty cheap,
Yeah,
too,
but that's the different store though.
Better
like-
design. Though.
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about
More
millennials.
options.
That's what they feel, and that's what the power consumer
So,
is right now. So
optics-
it's not the baby boomers, it's the millennials and
So
Gen Z.
it's optics, just aesthetics and optics. It looks good, and it comes the whole package, and so people are let's go, let's just get this package.
Right, appeal to the
But
self-interest
where else am
of
I
the
gonna get it?
millennials.
Where else am I going to get it? Where do you get your furniture?
American Signature.
Okay. So why is that better than IKEA? Because it's more expensive.
I'm not saying that it's better. It's just closer.
It's
I
the
don't
way
have
they
to
like.
drive.
It's
Yeah,
the way
it's
they
what's close.
like you. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm not like really well. I'm not really particular on furniture. I'm not like picky. I just need something to sit my ass in. That's it.
That's right. But you and I, we are generation behind. We're talking about this new generation that we're
yeah, I
living.
get it.
I mean, if I have all the options, why don't I mean if it's all online, you got the option. Usually, I just go by reviews, and I'll Google like best something. It'll be like an article where it's like 10 best, and like there's so much research already
Like,
been done.
Best dildo? This one.
There's a an Aziz Ansari joke in his comedy special where he said he went online and he Googled best toothbrush, and then he realized there's something about that, something to that, where everything he buys, he needs the best of, even just toothbrush, best toothbrush.
And
And I don't know, you're talking about, I think that has to do with millennials. We got the research, we got the internet. I can get the best.
That's a good point. For
the
example,
best option. Why not?
yeah, that's the big option. For example, the canned goods. How many millennials they buy canned goods that back in our generation do? I remember back in the time the people they want to buy a soup, canned soup. Millennials don't want to do that
Yeah, not really.
because they don't like processed food. So if you go to chain restaurant, it's frozen food, frozen shrimp, frozen chicken, frozen fish. They don't like that. For example, they don't drink Diet
don't
Coke
like that?
anymore.
Huh?
you don't like that?
What, canned food?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's that I dislike it. It's not what I think to get. But I don't have a family. I mean, like, I don't have children or a wife. So if I'm cooking, it's usually just for myself. So there's like pre-made stuff that's like, just put it in the microwave or whatever. Like
Right.
fancier TV dinners, like at Publix, they'll have like, I don't know, salmon and orzo and stuff like that. Microwave it. It's good.
Lazy.
Yeah. Dude, I don't want to spend, I'm very conscious of my time, even though what I do with my time is not very smart. I still want it.
Watching,
Right.
So
Yeah,
just watching porn.
Yeah, I might watch like TV series or movies or play
No,
video
but
games.
that's what I'm saying. That's what the new generation
I'd
do.
rather do that, though.
So I'm agreeing with them, you know. And
So yeah, for what you're cooking.
Yeah, why do I want to spend like 2-3 hours making a meal
Right.
for myself?
So-
right.
But you're not passionate to do that. It's just for you. It's just, I'm just
Every
gonna-
once in a while, it's an
you know,
occasional thing. I don't
yeah,
wanna
but
do that
not
every
like all the
day.
time. Like you're not like, oh, I'm gonna cook. You know, you get super excited about like
Some
cooking.
people do, but not me.
But you don't need in this new generation. You don't need to set the skills to cooking. Come on, you don't need to learn how to cook when there's a lot of healthy places out there that you can get food, you know, through your app. That's my point. So you don't need to learn that. You have to learn something else, you know, to get through your life. Not to cook. It won't serve your life. That's what I think in this new generation, and I really
Okay,
like
so-
this new generation.
So what's the outcome?
You like it, thank you.
The out.
No, really, for real,
The
because
outcome
I
is
thought this was a.
it's changing the way we see things, and I enjoy it. For real, because that's the things that I didn't have when I was youth. I mean, I'm still young, but I enjoy this kind of things.
what was it like a report somewhere? The bunch of places are disappearing because of
It's all over the internet. For example, let's see this. You know, talking about the Applebee's, it was difficult time attracting millennials.
for a reason they suck.
It's better options.
That
We're all
better
about
options.
identifying the best options.
So you think like Applebee's, Chili, they're gonna disappear?
Maybe soon, not soon enough, but soon.
And
I mean, the next Gen Z, as they grow up, I don't imagine them going.
Going to
Applebee's.
Burger King.
Yeah.
so what do you think is gonna be the place for them? Starbucks?
No. Starbucks is in one of them. They closing stores on the malls, on the shopping places because the millennials don't go there.
I think
So
either they're
the
gonna
drive-through.
Either they're gonna go to local, like interesting places like we do, or they just won't go anywhere ever.
I think no.
They may just stay home all the
The
time.
business model has to change. There are some places
So-
now that they offer you through your app the good choices.
So you think like a business model for food for the food industry will have like some sort of like ghost kitchen?
Ghost kitchen.
Yeah,
Closed kitchen, you
Ghost,
mean?
ghost.
No, you
What
know,
does that
closed
mean?
kitchen. You mean that there is no open to public, just take out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a kitchen that has been. Yeah, you don't have to promote that you're serving the food in your spot. So it's just your kitchen,
Yeah,
and you get your orders online, and then you deliver.
right.
So
No dining area.
no dining area, no everything is through the internet.
That would be
I can
perfect.
see that.
That would be perfect.
As long,
I'm all for that.
The
I'm
amount of
good for that.
money you're saving on paying for service and stuff
You
like
still
that.
have to hire like people that cook and
Delivery.
deliver, but you don't have to provide a full restaurant service.
Yeah, you have a smaller rental space.
Yeah.
You have fewer employees.
And I
I
think,
think that's a pretty good model.
and at this point, I think the owner of one of those restaurants, you just can design it and build the food. I mean, create the food and give it to another contractor
Yeah.
to make the food for you. That it shows the people that you cannot train to cook the food for you, sell it to the customers, and deliver by another people. And in this case, Grubhub or whatever, or Uber to deliver them.
See, it's a ghost kitchen is delivery only restaurant, virtual kitchen, shadow kitchen, commissary kitchen, cloud kitchen, dark kitchen. There's all sort of things in there. They just deliver, and some of them have a drive-through, but most of the orders that will come to your POS,
Yeah.
and then you do them, you cook them, and ship them out, and that's
Right.
it. And you get money through an app or POS system, and that's it. You don't have to provide any service, no welcoming, nothing.
Right. That I think that's perfect. That's the business model that we're waiting for,
You do all the marketing online,
right?
and you post something that is appealing to, I guess, new generations. No,
Yeah.
baby boomers, definitely not me. I will never do that.
I could see Gen Z. I mean, Gen Z, especially if they went through the
like,
pandemic,
I would- yeah.
I could see them just being like, and they spend a
I
year
will,
inside.
I will do it if there is no more options out there, you know. But I like to. I still miss, the socialized thing. I still miss walking to a place and, feel the vibe. But that's because my generation. I grew up with that.
Right.
But new generation, I can see that they don't want to socialize at all. They don't want to walk into a place and look
they
strange.
do want to socialize, but they want to feel the same vibe that they're connected to. They don't want to, talk with the old people that is all grumpy and yelling because your kids are running around.
I think
or
Gen-
because the music is too loud.
Gen Y actually, I think, is spending a lot of money in restaurants. I remember reading that they go out a lot and they spend a lot of money. So I'm talking more Gen Z, that I think there's the possibility that they're going to be somewhat antisocial and not wanting to go out.
Are you antisocial? No, maybe a little bit.
I would say I'm an introvert. I like spending a lot of time alone, but I don't think I am avoiding or nervous about social interactions.
I like socialize. I like to see people, but I don't like to see,
I mean, I just spent
people
like
grumpy.
a year not going out at all, and I was pretty fine.
Right. Yeah, most people, they
That's
get
fine.
used to it, right? I think if I spend a lot of time in my home and I can find a job that I can do from my home, I would stay home
Yeah,
and don't go anywhere.
being home is great.
That's what I think.
So, what the restaurants are disappearing? I need to know that.
Service.
Service restaurant, full
Outdated.
service.
They're outdated. They don't have a good design.
And this had nothing to do with the pandemic. It's just
Now,
business model.
the pandemic was the catalytic,
The
or
breaking
the trigger.
point.
It was a trigger.
It's the
that
breaking point of
Yeah,
those restaurants.
the pandemic just opened the window that say, "Come on, guys, you have to disappear soon." I mean, they accelerate the process. That's what I think. They something that if they still selling diet cokes, I think they're gonna disappear.
People, businesses that sell diet coke
That's a lot of
Doom.
businesses.
are doomed.
That's a lot.
The younger generation care for the environment, whether like it or not, but they care about the environment. They want to buy an electric car because they don't feel comfortable right now to using, carbon monoxide car driving. But still have it around, they will use it. But I think that right now there is a choice to buy an electric car and change it for your old car, they will do it.
Yeah. Climate change.
Right there. And I think that's
Believe
one of
in it.
those points that when
I believe in it.
Yeah, it is true.
A lot of boomers don't.
And I think what the Nejuclan thing happened in the building in Miami just about the climate change, but that's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a different topic. Climate change and Mr. Cooper being an introvert.
It's good.
Thanks for listening to our podcast, Common Sense, and
Subscribe.
and like us on YouTube. Send us a message. If you want us to talk about something in specific, you just shout.
Yeah.
You shite. See you.
Bye.